Alright guys, today is the day you finally get the full van tour.
Finally.
Yes, finally, after a lot. And we're sorry that we've been a little disconnected lately. We're sorry we haven't been posting, and
We've been really busy, a lot of stuff happening, but hopefully we'll be better.
yeah, there's a lot that's went on, and we'll explain some of that in a later video, and some of you might know, some of you might not, but today is the day you get the full van tour, top to bottom. There'll be a separate video for the solar, but today you see the inside and out of our van, the build, exactly how it is. So I'll start with the outside of the van, and then Bella will show you the inside, and finally get to see it, right?
Yeah.
Let's get her done. To begin with, we got the Ford Transit 2020 350 HD with the dually and the 1-ton chassis. It has a 3.5 liter twin turbo motor, solid motor. Ford's done their research. The inside of the cab is fairly standard, has the upgraded screen with the navigation. Other than that, we got this totally bone stock, nothing inside of it, no seats, no nothing. To start with the front, we have on the two front doors, we have heel locks, which are like deadbolts for the two front doors, and we also have them for the back door and the sliding door. Other than that, it's fairly standard in the front, fairly stock. We have a camera system for both sides, the back door and the front, that record inside to a DVR. So it's like a security system for the van, an additional one in case anybody breaks in case anything happens. It's recording 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then the solar system is directly behind the front seat, and we'll move towards the back and we'll show you a bit about what's in the back. Like I said, we got the dually in the rear, and when we come up to the back door, we have a 120 outlet that leads into the van, and from there it goes to the front behind the driver's seat and to the other side on the counter. So we have 120 volt. If we're doing shore power plug-in, we can charge the batteries up by shore power. We can use that next to the countertop for crock pot, pressure cooker, all that good stuff. Then we have the heel lock for the back as well. That goes across the back door, and then you can lock it. Simple system, works very, very nicely. We come back to the back of the van, we have our hitch carrier, which carries our generator, which is 3,500 running watts. That ensures that if we have a few days of snow or clouds, we can charge up our system while we're off grid. We can run the crock pot, we can run the pressure cooker, we can run anything that's 120 volt if need be. So we have more than enough power between solar generator and alternator is also hooked up to the solar, but we'll cover that in another video when we're talking more in depth about the solar. So here we have the plugs coming in to the van from the door. That's our 120, splitting off into two plugs running down the van on either side. And we have our climbing gear, we got ropes, hatchets, axes, longboards, hiking bags, all the necessities that you could possibly need. We got wood for our wood stove, we got lawn chairs, we got everything we need back here we could possibly need. We put our bed up a little bit higher than most people would. We wanted a solid bed so we had lots of storage underneath. Plus we hate making our bed. And that gives us tons of storage up underneath, and all the heat rises in the van. So having it up top, you burn a lot less wood, you use a lot less energy because all your heat's rising up to the top of the van. So you don't need as much wood in the winter time. So we just put wood panels on the back of the doors. Nice and simple. All the doors are insulated, sliding door, two back doors, everything's insulated very well with rock wool insulation. Then we have wood slats inside, but Bella will show you that. And then moving around on the other side of the van, we have our logos on the side of the van. Then we have our logos on the side of the van, got our cameras on either side. We got the solar cables coming down. That's for an additional cable to be able to put a fourth panel on the ground in case we have a few cloudy days, in case we're running low on power. I can put another panel on the ground, so that gives us over 600 watts of solar between the roof and the extra panel. I get about 600 watts out of the alternator, but we'll talk about that more in another video. So, moving to the inside, Bella's going to show you guys around the inside, and welcome to our home.
So welcome to our home, our long-awaited tour. Whenever you first come in, we have our angled countertop. We like to call this our junk drawer, which is all the stuff we don't really have a particular place for. And underneath, we usually just put our shoes or our mat that we have out right now. And then our garbage, we just kind of put wherever works. We have our wood stove up front and center here. We have it on a nice angle, so if we're sitting or laying in bed, we can kind of enjoy the pops and crackles. We have some storage here for cups, and our big water jug here, we put it in the sink when we're driving so it doesn't go everywhere, and it just works by gravity like a sink would, or not like a sink would, but it acts like a sink. We have a little panel here so that we can see our solar and how it's charging and everything. We have more cups along here. This is we like to call this our backsplash with all the driver's licenses or license plates that we've gotten over time. We have our knife rack, which seems to be the most sturdy thing in our van. Everyone's always worried about our knives flying everywhere, but they're held on pretty well. Just regular cleaning supplies, regular spices. This is our propane stove top with our propane tank underneath with a box so it's sealed, so it vents out separately. It doesn't vent into here. We keep all of our pots and pans down there. And then switching to this side, we have forks, knives, plates, utensils, all that, garbage bags. We have a first aid kit back there. Our Costway fridge, what is it, 55 liters?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we can squeeze about a week and a half worth of food in it. Up here we just have food, pantry, toiletry kind of thing, clothing. All my clothing, kind of a mess, and then all his clothing down there. Just some decor stuff here. We have a mirror, finally. A couple months in the making on that one. We do have little lights along here. What are they? 0.5 amp?
Yeah, they draw about 0.5 amp a piece, so they're very efficient LED lights.
Yep. Our smoke alarm and CO detector, that was very important for us to have with the wood stove, so if anything happens, we'll know. Noah has both of his cowboy hats up here, along with our Dometic fan. And then we have some photos here just from us and our memories. We have my hat. And then on either side here we have benches, so you can sit here or sit there. We keep all of our dirty laundry underneath that bench, and underneath this one we keep all of our food. We call that our pantry. And then we also have a slide out table here. It slides out a lot more, so that way we can kind of sit and eat, and then when we're not eating we can put it away for more room. And then under there is our garage. Like Noah was saying, we have our longboards and water and our pressure cooker and bags and hiking stuff. Everything that you'd kind of put in a garage, we put down there. And then our bed, like Noah was saying, we have it high up so it keeps us nice and warm in the winter. And we have another fan up there as well, so it's really great for circulating air in the winter and summer. And then we have our surveillance here just so we can see what's going on while we're in the van. If anything's happening, we can see. We have charging ports right down here, right up there beside the bed, and then another one over beside the sink. And that's great for whenever we have to charge our phones or laptop, headphone, any of that stuff. And yeah. Anything else you want to add, Noah?
So, how does the sink drain, some people might ask?
Well, we were thinking about, should we have a gray water tank or should we drain it directly out? But our worry was that when we're not in it, the wood stove's not always on, and we didn't want that water to freeze up. So we have a drain pipe that drains straight out to the ground. We make sure that we use eco-friendly soap that won't affect the wildlife or anything like that. And it's really just water and soap. We have eco-friendly toothpaste as well. So we're making sure that our eco footprint is as small as possible.
And some people might ask, is it safe to have a wood stove in a moving vehicle?
Well, I've been trained in firefighting, so I was very sure that it wouldn't provide any dangers for us. We never have it on while we're moving because that's just an accident waiting to happen. The airflow and the heat that would create is just not a smart idea. So whenever we're stopped, we know we're parked for the night, we'll light it up. We make sure that nothing's around. We have a heat shield around so that like nothing will spontaneously combust or anything like that. We've made sure that it's safe.
So with the wood stove, some people might be concerned, but it's a fairly large wood stove compared to most. We looked at the Cubic Mini, we looked at a few different types of wood stoves, but with the Cubic Mini, you can't just buy wood anywhere. You need to buy specific wood that is small enough to be able to fit in it.
Or you would just have to chop it extra.
Yeah, so you'd have to chop it in half, which you'd need a saw, and we just wanted to be able to fit full-size hardwood logs so we can fuel our system without having a big issue with it. So
another thing, we also have a blanket in the back that we've put holes in. It acts as our curtain. So we have hooks along here, so if we're parked somewhere for the night and we don't want people seeing in, we just put our curtain up and it's a little privacy wall. Oh, and my seat also swivels. I can try and swivel it. It's still new, so it takes a bit of coaxing.
So the swivel seat is made by a company in Germany. It was very fast shipping, excellent quality. We suggest it to anybody. The swivel seat is honestly a perfect thing to have for the van. You can swivel it around, have a third seat in case you have a guest. It makes it easier to go from front to back.
We usually just leave it like this. That way, if one of us is in bed, the other one can just kind of sit here and watch YouTube. But it can swivel all the way around. I don't think we've ever swiveled it all the way around before.
Once or twice.
Just like that. Nice.
Perfect swivels, 365 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
There's the heat shield around the wood stove. It is steel on both sides with a steel tubing frame, and in between that is rock salt insulation, which is extremely fire retardant. It will not burn. We did some tests of our own on it, and it just does not burn. So we have our inverter there with our solar system there. Our inverter allows us to have 120 volt converted from 12 volt, but it is not that efficient converting 12 volt to 120, so that's why we have our 120 hookup. So whenever we have 120 hookup, we'll use it. Like I said, both front doors have the heel lock deadbolt system, so Bella will lock the front door there. Now that the front door is locked, the doors are unlocked. The van's unlocked, as you can see there, and I'll pull on this. Looking at that, you're not getting that open until she unlocks it. So in an event where somebody breaks in, they're gonna have to bust those locks off to be able to get the van doors open.
Another thing on the van, which helps a lot, I'm not sure, you might need to come inside, is that with these doors, we've insulated them and we have wood on them, so they're kind of heavy. So we have these hooks that just came on the inside of the van, so whenever we want to close it, instead of constantly pulling on these latches and wearing them down, we just use these to close it like that. That way we know it's closed every time.
So one thing people make a mistake about with van life is that they try and do it cheaply, and this van is built to last. This van's built to last 100 years.
Well, I don't think it's always a mistake to do it cheaply. Some people just don't need a lot of luxuries, but for us living in it full time, we wanted to go all out and make sure that everything was perfect.
So you can see on Instagram exactly how we framed it up. We did it with 2x2 kind of like strapping. We did it framing up and down, and then we did cross beams across the roof, the walls, the floor. The floor is made out of 3/4 inch plywood. The walls are made out of this strapping material here, and you can see how thick it is. And that's all along the walls. And then we took a tiger torch and we burned the walls to be able to make it kind of like a nice cozy cabin feel. And then we used the blue paint there to give it some accent color and make it nice and bright. And then we have our plaid bed sheets up there, but you won't be able to see those. Yeah, that's our home. Is there anything we didn't cover?
I don't think so. I think we got everything.
So yeah, like I said, the solar will be in another video, but that is a video in itself. We'll go in depth with that, so anybody that's curious about that can have a full in-depth video about that. Any questions, any comments, leave them down in the comment section. We'll answer them the best we can. And drop a like, subscribe, and follow.